Hey guys, welcome to today's episode of Rant. I'm your host, Leonyx. This is your weekly dose of esports, and I'm joined by Jonas Anderson, Trashy from Enemy Esports. So let's give a hand for Enemy, right? Enemy? Enemy! All right, you guys actually just made it into the LCS. That's huge on your part, but I'm actually going to roll back in time for you because you're a very interesting player. You come all the way from EU. You're actually from SK Prime, from our side. So please.
Yeah, short time.
Yeah, so please tell me that journey from EU, joining SK in the Challenger Series, and please tell me how you got your name.
Well, it goes further back. It goes like 1 year back, where I started playing kind of professionally on a team called Recent Gaming, where I first got like a bit of hype, and then after that I joined H2K and played for them like 4 or 5 months. Failed the relegation sadly, but no, that's what happens. And then after that I got replaced from the team, and I was looking for opportunities, and I played the expansion tournament with SK Prime. It was pretty forced, and it was not like I don't think anyone had a good feeling about the team at all. We were basically just players trying to promote ourselves, showing that we're good players, and yeah, we didn't really have any team synergy or anything. So yeah, it was a short journey with SK Prime, and after that I got the offer from Enemy to move here, and yeah, back then I have said it in some interviews before that I was not feeling very well, and they gave me a small opportunity to start from fresh, and I just went with it, and now I'm here. So I mean, I'm just very happy
now you're just making the esports dollars, you know.
Yeah.
You got the league honeys lining up for you. How many messages?
I don't know about that, but yeah.
All right, so you were in EU for before. How's like working on H2K? Now seeing their success? Do you ever look back on maybe that could have been me, or like working with Febevin? How's that like in terms of in the EU?
I mean, just seeing now that we're 4 out of the 5 players joining the LCS, and they had a lot of success this season in H2K. Just looking back at it, I think we definitely could have had equally success if I had stayed. The main problem with us is that back when I played on the team, we had no coach. And we had no one to tell us like what we should do different, and then it was more like ourselves judging on how we played, and that meant that the environment went like it just got worse and worse, because when a player needs to judge the other player on how they should play, then it gets very personal, and it just makes the team environment bad, and yeah, something had to change, and then it was sadly me that had to leave. I think the way they transitioned into expansion was good for them. So I mean, I'm just happy for them, because in the end we also had a lot of good moments, and we had a lot of good time together. So yeah, I mean, I'm just happy for them, but I'm also happy for myself that I get the chance to show that even though I got removed back then, I'm still good enough to be in the LCS.
What do you think about your other comrades, like Steelback, for instance, on going to Fnatic?
So when I was talking about SK Prime, I felt like everyone on the team was good players, but we just didn't have the team environment or the team spirit that could like bring us together as a good team. I knew he was a good player. He was also a good player when I played with him. A lot of players are good. They just need the next step to like show off, and that is where some people fail and some people will like grow, and I think he grew a lot on his time in Fnatic in this split. So I mean, I'm just happy. He's a really nice guy, so I mean, I have nothing bad to say about him at all, and it's kind of the same with when I think back to the time on H2K, a lot of people thought like, oh, me and Febevin had a really bad relationship. We actually didn't in the beginning. We were playing a lot together, and we were like, in the end it got worse, because when I say about we like judge on each other's play, and we have no one to tell like who's right and who's wrong, and we had some bad moments together that just grew and grew, and no one would like take responsibility about like what happened, and then in the end it like I wouldn't say we like hate each other, but that's what some people thought. And I mean, I don't really hate him at all, but some of the decisions he made I'm not like too much a fan of, but I'm happy that he's doing well, and I hope he's happy that I'm doing well as well. Like, we had some good moments, as I said, so yeah.
Okay. So now you came from EU, now you're over in NA. What's the culture like? Been the culture shift? Do you like it so much better, or like the infrastructure in NA, or what's that like?
So at first it was actually not that hard. I have been searching for a lot more like team spirit, or like a lot more how do you say, you wanna play as a team, and I didn't feel like I had in my days in Europe. I didn't really have that feeling that like we would do anything for each other, and if something went wrong, like we can always come back because we like trust each other. And that is the huge thing, especially on this enemy team, is that everyone trusts each other, and if anything goes wrong, like we can still bounce back because we're good friends, and we have a good environment. So there's no like real bad things in the team at all, and yeah. So it's just, we're just very happy and enjoying ourselves when we play.
So you said that the difference between your EU Challenger teams and now Enemy is that there's not a remediator there. The coaching and management staff has been a lot different. What's that main difference? Is it's just them helping you out, guiding you in the game, or is it just like life coaching, I guess?
Yeah. One of my biggest problems back in Europe, especially on HCK, was that I took too much responsibility, I felt like, and instead of looking at what I could do better as myself, I would look more into like what my teammates should do, and that affected me as a player because I played a lot worse, and also it made the relationships bad. So I mean, I just right now I'm just more like leaning back and letting the coach have his influence and just listen to him, because in the end, if we're all on the same page as what the coach wants us to do, we will play a lot better as a team. So that's at least what I have learned a lot. And then just in general, how to work with other people. I have, from having some like bad moments with people, I have learned that how to handle like conversations and what you probably shouldn't say to a teammate and what you can say to a teammate. Yeah. And yeah, so I mean, I think I've grown a lot as both as a player but also as a person through my experience.
So how does the team of Enemy work so far? Are you mainly a big voice in the team in terms of decisions, or I know that I talked to Otter before, and he was like, yeah, this is like the team that I want to be a part of, and now that we've made it, it's like a weight off his shoulders. Like who's the team captain, or do you feel that you've just fit into a role?
So I think, first of all, I think that we all have some kind of influence on what is going to happen in game. So we all have something to say, and everyone will listen if someone has a good legit point. But if it's on high pressure situations, it's mostly me or Leonyx that like steps up the most in terms of like if no one has an idea of like what to do, then we will come up with a plan and then we just follow that. But else it's just it sounds weird that a lot of times say, oh, everyone has something to say and everyone is making calls, but it is just how it works right now. I'm not sure if it's like the best way of playing. Yeah.
But it fits for you guys. It's a democracy.
Yeah. So. Yeah, and yeah, I mean, if we had a one-shot call, it could also work well. But as it is right now, like everyone has something to say, and we're just very. Everyone is kind of vocal, and so it makes it a lot easier to make the right decisions.
So you've always been part of Challenger teams, playing online. Just this past yesterday, in fact. Actually, I'm going to throw a timestamp on there, whatever, when this shot. So you played on LAN, finally. How's that like? Do you still get LAN jitters? Well, what was that atmosphere like going on stage? And it's like we're only one best of 5 away from joining the LCS.
So, I mean, I have played on LAN events before. The first biggest LAN I went to was in London, where I played in front of like 5K people. So, I mean, that was a big experience for me. So, I mean, from every time you play on a stage like this, you learn more and more. But I personally still feel like I can learn a lot more from playing on stage. I think everyone yesterday played a bit worse than we normally do. But it's to be expected through all the pressure, and there's just so much on the line. Like you're from a challenger player's perspective, playing like now 8 or 9 months through challenger. It's very, very stressful because you're fighting for some kind of security in terms of like getting into LCS where it's more safe for you. So yeah, I mean, everyone was just so relieved after the games and happy, and yeah.
Did you guys celebrate?
Yeah, a little bit. We were all really, really tired because there's so much going on and so much stress, and your body is just hyper all the time. And when you play, and when it's just over, you're just like, ah. So I mean, we went back pretty early and got some sleep, and hopefully we will celebrate later as well.
Okay. So now that you're officially in the LCS, a lot of community flack is talking about like the format of LCS and how the last team is auto-relegated. And it's been said many, many times before, like Teammate, Coast, and what was the other? Curse Academy, well, Gravity now, they're like the last place teams. Or where in terms of Enemy do you place where in the bracket of standings?
So right now, from how we play right now, I would probably put us in like around 7, 8, around Team 8, the Liquid spot, like around the bottom of the playoffs spot, because we have been practice against LCS teams and we have actually been doing fairly well. But the big difference is that we don't have the experience playing on stage, and it's always different playing on stage. So it's really hard to put like, oh, we're gonna place this and this, because we don't know exactly how we're gonna play on stage. I mean, I could make a statement about how we would do if it was in terms of scrims and stuff, but in the end, scrims doesn't matter. What matters is how you play on stage. So I don't want to put like too many expectations about how we're gonna do. It's a whole new split for us, and it's the first one. So I have a personal goal of getting to playoffs, and I think if we work hard and we work well together in the upcoming split, I think we can do it. We are all really motivated to show ourselves and prove to everyone how good we are.
How excited are you in terms of going against, I don't know if you're like a one-on-one person, but how excited are you going against players like Meteos in the jungle and your Danish counterpart Santorin and TSM?
So in this season, the jungle role has been, I wouldn't say less effective, but it's not like a carry role, as we've seen like previous seasons where it was like the Meteos show where he would carry every game. We haven't really seen those kind of performances in this season. So the jungle role is not like, I wouldn't say it's like, oh, I'm gonna play up against this guy and I'm gonna be afraid of him. It's more like how the jungle role is gonna transition into impacting the map and then playing with the team. But obviously, I really want to play. I mean, me and Santorin has played in LAN events in Denmark against each other, and in around Europe against each other. So I am really happy that I get to play against him, and it's gonna be no matter what's gonna happen and how the result is gonna turn out, it's gonna be really funny to play against him. And also playing against Björksen is fun. I played against him as well in Denmark. but overall, I'm not really. I don't feel like I'm scared of playing against any other junglers in the NA LCS. I think I can do fairly well against anyone. Yeah, so I really wanna play more on stage so I can improve my play on stage because I feel like I have a lot to learn.
Okay. So now that you are in the LCS, obviously, do you feel with Bjergsen and all your other EU counterparts that are here in NA, is it more rewarding that you know those guys playing against those guys, upcoming rivals in LCS Summer Split?
It definitely makes it a more fun experience that there's some kind of rivalry because you're Danish, I'm Danish. But else I don't really think too much about it. Yeah, I mean, I feel equally to my teammates. Like two of them are American, two of them are Canadian. I don't think there's like much difference. It's like a team game. So yeah, I just want Enemy to prove that we're a good team.
So playing off through the entire season of the Challenger Series, do you feel that you've just come a long way and like the weight has been lifted off your shoulders? Or how was that experience?
Yeah, so I mean, as I said before, it's just so stressful to play in the Challenger Series. Every game counts. I remember reading some of the tweets from SOAS and Amazing saying that they were more nervous going into games in Challenger Series than going into Worlds. So it just puts some kind of perspective in like how stressful and how much pressure there is on you to do well. Yeah.
Okay. So now that you made it, I have to ask, where did you get your name from? I personally know, but viewers out there, why Trashy? Are you toxic? What's going on? Why are you not Enemy Val Kilmer? Where does Trashy come from?
Yeah, so it's actually a kind of fun story because when I got introduced to the game, it was my cousin. We were on a holiday in Spain, I think. We were going out to watch a football game. I think it was FC Barcelona against something. And then we came home to the hotel, and they started up their PCs, and they started up the game, and I was like, "What is this game?" And then they showed me the game, and I made an account, and I called it in Danish. I called it Ham den Dårlige, and it's called the bad one.
The bad one
in Danish. And then I just literally played with that game with that name in like 1-2 year, and then when I got in, and then I got like a high rating, and I got into a team, and I played for it in like Danish tournaments, and it was all good. I still played with the name Ham den Dårlige. It's really hard to pronounce for someone that's not Danish. But later on, I got into recent gaming, and they wanted me to change my name, and I was like, what am I gonna call myself? And then one of my friends said, "Oh, but you're trash," or something like that. It just came out of nowhere, and then I was like, "Oh, you should call yourself Trashy." And then, because the bad one, it's a bad transition. I don't even know where it came from.
And it just stuck.
Yeah, and then I've actually thought about changing my name, and before I also changed like in a short time, but then I just came back to the name, and yeah, maybe I'm just too lazy to find a good name.
All right, so throwing in an alternate reality, let's say you magically didn't win against TDK, what was the outlook there? Were you going to stay on Enemy, or was there another pursuing, like, oh, do I go back to EU? What was that going to be like for you?
Well, we definitely wanted to play the relegation if we didn't win. So, I mean, from there on, we could join the LCS even if we lost yesterday. But right now, I don't see myself leaving Enemy at all. We're just having so much fun, and the really good point about Enemy is that we all enjoy spending time with each other. So even when we lose, we're still like, sometimes it's like whatever, and we just hang out, and yeah. So I'm just really happy with my current situation and how everything turned out.
That's awesome. Well, Trashy, thank you for coming on the show. Congratulations on your win in the relegations.
Thank you for having me.
Auto relegations. But any shout-outs, plugins? Shout-outs to fans or anything like that?
Well, yeah, first of all, shout out to everyone that went to the studio and cheered for us. It was insane how much the crowd was cheering for us. And then for everyone texting on Twitter or tweeting at us or in general just cheering for us. We all just love the fans that cheer for us. I want to thank our sponsors, Asubu, Forge, Battle Body Apparel, and My EDM Radio.
All right, thank you, Trashy, for being on the show. Congratulations to Enemy Esports for making it to the LCS. If you want more content just like this, be sure to check out SK Gaming on YouTube. Like, comment, subscribe. Another thank you to Enemy Esports for letting us use their house. And other than that, till next time, guys.